Hi, and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily. The football season is over. The sun is shining. That can only mean one thing. It's transfer time, right? And you know what? I thought I'd come out and about today. This is not my garden before you start with all that, right? But I thought to myself, you know, one thing about this this whole coronavirus thing is that I've really been trying to work to try and be fitter, you know? So I've been out on like a bike ride this morning. I try to do that every morning if the weather's good. Came out and I thought, you know what? Just do Transfer Daily outside, man. It's beautiful out here, right? So first Transfer Daily for the summer conducted outside, and it is beautiful out here. Beautiful. We've got to soak it up whilst it's here. But it's a lovely day in the UK right now. And welcome along back to Transfer Daily. It's transfer time. And of course, you know, it's a different type of transfer window this year because, of course, with the whole coronavirus interrupting the season, we'd probably be, you know, halfway through the transfer season. We would have done a load of transfers probably already. Well, mind you, it's Arsenal, so you never know. We'd be leaving it till the last day. But no, seriously, we would have done a lot of transfers already. But of course, the transfer window this year is completely different. It's open from the 27th of July, so it opened last week, and it closes on the 5th of October. So the season would have started and the transfer window will still be open. Yeah, we're going to have one of those situations again. Remember last year they tried to align it. Last year they tried to do it differently to everybody else in Europe by closing the transfer window when the Premier League season started. But a lot of Premier League clubs complained about that. They didn't like that. They didn't like the fact that clubs in Europe could still buy their players whilst they couldn't buy any players from Europe. So this year, it will close on the 5th of October, and that'll be right across Europe. So, and as I said, it's a real different type of transfer window this year. But what do we need? Who do we need to buy? Who do we need to keep? Who do we need to buy and who do we need to sell? That's what I want to really sort of discuss today. Of course, it was a fantastic weekend. Arsenal winning the FA Cup. And I'm telling you what, I've still been buzzing from it. I was down at Wembley yesterday doing a live show, and also I did a couple of interviews for some TV stations, and I was absolutely buzzing. And I was telling them how important it was for Arsenal to finish off the season on a high. It's been such a poor season, but to finish it off with a trophy was absolutely unbelievable. Remember, Chelsea, all right, they got top four, but they didn't win a trophy this season. Tottenham didn't win a trophy this season. Leicester, Man United, well, Man United potentially can still win a trophy, to be fair. But, you know, there's a lot of teams this year that didn't win trophies, right? Arsenal have left this season with a trophy, and that's absolutely unbelievable. And that's what big clubs need to do. And of course, winning the FA Cup helps Arsenal because the estimate is that it brings at least an extra £30 million into the coffers, because now, of course, we're going to be in the Europa League. It also helps to attract players, because there are players, especially a lot of players across Europe. All right, they want Champions League football first and foremost, but if not Champions League football, some sort of European football. You know, they want to be playing in those competitions. It's also helped Mikel Arteta. You know, I mean, he's a young up-and-coming manager. Now that he's won this competition, that will help to attract players. You know what I mean? Whether it be domestically or players abroad, they're going to be looking on it and say, well, listen, young, hungry manager, look what he's done in 8 months at Arsenal. He's won a trophy already. You know what? I might be on board with this project. This project looks something that I'd be interested in getting involved in. So very, very important as well for Mikel Arteta. And of course, the guy they're holding the trophy, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, that has got to be one of the priorities. We have got to try and keep hold of Aubameyang. How important was he? 2 goals in the semi-final, 2 goals in the final, 29 goals, I think, in all competitions this season, which is an amazing goal-scoring record when you really consider that we haven't had a great season. There's not really been many people to assist him and stuff like that, and he still pulled it out of the bag. He is a genuine world-class striker. I don't care about you know, his age, he's 31 and stuff like that. We have to keep hold of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He is so important. And of course, the rumours are that Arsenal are desperately trying to keep hold of him. If you listen to Arteta, he seems, you know, when he's talking, he seems pretty relaxed that it will get done, but it's not been done yet. Aubameyang after the game was pretty coy. You know, I mean, he didn't give anything away. He just said, I just want to celebrate this moment. Even when pressed by guys like Troops and that, he didn't give nothing away. But he does seem very happy, and he does seem to love it here at Arsenal. And it would be great to have him stay. The reports are that Arsenal are willing to offer him a 3-year deal, which is a good deal if you're 31, at 250 grand a week. And remember, he's currently on about 100, and the rumours are anything between 180 to 200 grand a week. So it's a significant rise in his wage, especially when you consider the whole pandemic that's going on at the moment. But honestly, he would be the best signing this summer, keeping hold of Aubameyang. He is that important to this team. And remember, of course, he's now the club captain. It would send not a great signal if he left. It means then that maybe the ambition is lacking at the team. And maybe one of the things he's hanging on to see is there any ambition? What are Arsenal going to do? What sort of players are they going to sign? Are they going to go out there and get some big signings done that really does make the team push on? I think with a guy like him, we've got to match his ambitions. He's a big-time player who could be played in any club in Europe, any of the big boys. He would play and he would score just as many goals. So Arsenal really do have to match his ambitions, but I really hope they do, and I really hope we can get this signed. But again, the one thing we don't want this to be is one of those sagas that go on right throughout the summer, right throughout September, right up to October. This is something that has to get done ASAP. Another player that we need to keep hold of, who played brilliantly in the finals, Dani Ceballos. Ceballos has been excellent since the lockdown. He started off the season brilliantly, got injured, then it all went quiet for him. Came back, he was getting selected. I mean, this is what I've liked about Arteta. He's not just said, right, you're straight in, you're a big name. You've had to earn that. And Dani Ceballos has earned it. And I was really impressed with him in the final, because in that final, he was the guy that when we went 1-0 down, he started getting on the ball. He started wanting the ball. He started controlling that midfield. And honestly, the way, I'm not saying he's as good as Santi, Cazorla, but he reminded me of Santi a lot in the way in which he demanded the ball in deep positions in that midfield, taking it off of the back four a lot of times and starting to build up attacks. And I think he's going to be a very important player going forward. Of course, he's not our player. He's a Real Madrid player. He's been on loan with Arsenal this season. Arsenal are keen to extend his loan another year, and that would make great sense for Arsenal. Of course, great sense as well probably for Real Madrid, because you know, everybody's going to be tight with money because of this whole pandemic. If he can stay on for another year, have a great season, it would make great sense for him as well. He's playing in a team, he's enjoying it, he's liking the manager, and he's playing well. I remember at the end of next season is the Euros, and Ceballos would love to get into those Euros with the Spanish team. Why go back to Real Madrid and maybe play a bit part? Better you stay at Arsenal. I mean, there are other clubs like Real Betis and that are interested as well. But Arsenal, it would be great if they could extend this loan deal for at least another year. He said that they are also, Real Madrid, willing to take £30 million for him as well. But I think it would be a very, very, again, important signing, which is Dani Ceballos. And again, credit Mikel Arteta. He's brought the best out of Ceballos, just like he has with this next guy, who, again, I think Arsenal need to keep, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. He has been brilliant, again, under the since the lockdown. We heard the rumours that, you know, Arteta didn't fancy him. Arteta wasn't happy with him. He turned up late for training. There was indiscipline. He's lackadaisical. Listen, credit this guy. We all know he's got talent. But what he did in the semi-final and the final, trusted by the manager to play on that left-hand side, a surprise pick ahead of Saka, in there for his pace, power and skill, and he stood up brilliantly. And for me, I think going forward, I'm not sure what position he's going to end up playing, But I want to keep Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I really don't want to see him sold. I understand that they're going to be discussing his future this week. But honestly, Arsenal, it's another player for me that Arsenal should be making sure that they keep hold of this summer, because, again, potentially he could save Arsenal a lot of money. And I think he's finally found his feet at Arsenal. Another guy's finally found his feet. What do you do with this guy? Emi Martinez. Now, is he a number 2 or is he number 1? I mean, Bernd Leno had a fantastic season before he got injured. Arguably, it was between him and Aubameyang as the best player at Arsenal this season. He got injured. We all feared the worst. I mean, we've seen Martinez play like in the FA Cup, League Cup, and he's been decent. We've been solid. But since he's come in, since that break, he's been absolutely unreal. He's been solid as a rock. I would argue that since the lockdown, he's been the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. Now, what do we do with Martinez? I mean, he still does have a contract till 2022, so I suppose there's no real rush on it. He's won an FA Cup now, but this guy's too good to be a number 2. How are they going to persuade him to say, yeah, just, you know, when Leno comes back, you're number 2? Or they're going to say to Leno, yo, you're going to have to battle your way back in to get that number 1 spot? Because for me, this guy is now become a very important player as well in the team. And there's going to be a lot of clubs looking at him. You know what I mean? There's been rumours already of a lot of the big Premier League clubs interested in bringing in Emi Martinez. So they're going to have to do some persuading with him as well. But I would love to see him stay at the club. And listen, for me, it's a battle now between him and Bernd Leno for number 1. And that's a great battle to have. Now, those are some of the players that I think definitely we need to keep hold of. But we all know there's a lot of players in that team that we need to move on. The main one we all know is Ozil. Wasn't even at the FA Cup. He was over in Turkey. All right, he was given permission to go to Turkey. So it wasn't that he did anything wrong. And he did congratulate his teammates after the game on winning the FA Cup, which was nice to see. But whatever you think about Mesut Ozil, good or bad, he's run his course at Arsenal. The big problem we all know, he's on £350,000 a week. And he don't want to go nowhere unless somebody can match or even come close to matching those wages, which at the moment, who's going to do that? He's not even playing. He's not played a minute since the lockdown. Why would you take on a 31-year-old at £350,000 a week who's not even playing? There's been rumours of, you know, I mean, he's over in Turkey, that Fenerbahce and teams over in Turkey might be interested in taking him. But come on, they can't even, you know, Mohamed El Neni over there in Turkey at Besiktas, not even getting paid his wages at the moment. These teams are being hit hard by the coronavirus as well. So who's going to take Ozil? And, you know, his agent came out the other day and said he's going to stay till the end of his contract. This is one that I do think is going to run on, you know, throughout the transfer window, because it's so obvious that they want to move him on. But does he want to go, or is there going to be any takers for him? Do we just pay him off? What's the point in having him hanging around for the you know, for the rest of the season? There's some sort of compromise has to come to here to be able to move him on, because it's just not good for anybody. You know, I don't like to see it. You know, he's been a good servant to Arsenal since he's been here. I don't like to see it. I don't like to see Ozil, you know, just lingering on at Arsenal. I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing for the team, even though he's sort of out of the picture at the moment as well. But personally, I would just like to see them just make a decision on him now and just say, you're staying, you're going, we're moving you on. You know, something needs to be done. And then, of course, there's Guendouzi. He, of course, another player that was not at the final. He didn't send a congratulation message to his teammates. He just put something on his Instagram saying he's on holiday. It's obviously there's a big problem between him and Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta wants him out, and we need to move him on. There's been rumours that he could be used in a deal to get Coutinho in. I don't know, but it's definitely looking at like we're going to move him on. We'll get a decent amount of money for him as well. So expect Guendouzi to go. What happens to Lucas Torreira? There's been rumours that he wants to go back to Italy and stuff like that. Do we keep hold of Lucas Torreira? That's another one. He's lots of injuries this season. He's been in and out of the team, whether it be under Emery, whether it be under Ljungberg, now Arteta. What happens with Lucas Torreira? Socrates, he came on in the final, but he's hardly played since the lockdown. When he was playing before that, Arteta was playing him as a right back, so obviously doesn't seem to really fancy him. Does he stay or go? Mustafi, what happens with him? Do we move him out? I mean, there was rumours that he could get another year on his deal. He is, of course, now injured as well, so that complicates the situation even more. He's done pretty well for Mikel Arteta when he's been playing, but do you move him on? We've got a lot of defenders, you know what I mean? You've got to think about it. There's Rob Holding. What happens with him? Do we move him on? Does he stay? I thought played well in the final. Callum Chambers has got to come back. That's another defender in there as well. Pablo Mari, we know we've signed, injured at the moment, but he's to return. Saliba's in there now. Got a lot of centre backs, but we need a centre back. But what happens with those guys? There's certainly going to be a lot of movement. There's even been talk about Bellerin, but I really think that over the past few games, Bellerin has showed us enough that, we got to keep this guy. But what if a big offer comes in for him? What about Lacazette? There's been talk and rumours even about Lacazette. I personally don't think we should be moving out Lacazette. I think, again, since the lockdown, really since the start of this year, he's been playing well. Still not at his sharpest best, but he's been a very important player in the team. But do we cash in on Alexander Lacazette to bring a load of money into the club? Remember, there's not a lot of money floating around. Do we cash in on him? Really, really going to be interesting. And then there's even the youth player, Balogun. There's been, following Balogun, very, very, very talented player. I know the scout who scouted him, he says to me, Robbie, this kid is brilliant, but he's in the last year of his deal. Arsenal said to be willing to take about £8 million for him. It's a shame because it would be nice to see him break into the team. A lot of youngsters have come through from that academy. But what happens with him? Will he be on his way out? I mean, there's so many interesting conundrums there, and we're going to be finding out who's going to be staying and who's going to be going. But wow, it's going to be a busy summer for Mikel Arteta. And then, of course, who do we bring in and what do we need? I personally think we need an attacking midfielder. We need a defensive midfielder or defensive midfielder stroke box-to-box midfielder. And I also feel we still need a centre-back. We definitely still need those three positions. I think if you can get some real quality in there, that could really change the dynamics of this team. And we need to build a good squad. Now, of course, one of the rumours that have been flying around for a few weeks, well, for ages really, even before the lockdown, is the one about Philippe Coutinho, the Brazilian who formerly used to play for Liverpool. Of course, is now at Barcelona. Even you see that picture he's wearing a Bayern Munich top. He was on loan at Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich have not taken him or will not be taking him for next season. He is available. Now, do Arsenal make a move for him? There's lots of rumours on this one. It could be a loan deal. That would make sense. It could be a deal. There's been rumours that £9 million plus Guendouzi, Barcelona might be willing to do that. That would make sense. Either way, I think Philippe Coutinho, for me, would be a very, very good signing for Arsenal. He's an attacking midfielder. One of the big problems with our midfield at the moment is that it doesn't score enough goals. Definitely does not score enough goals. And we need to see more goals coming from midfield. Now, I think this guy, Philippe Coutinho, would be a fantastic signing, especially if it was a loan move, because then we've got nothing really to lose. We save a load of money and be bringing in a real top quality player who knows the Premier League. It's going to be really interesting. There's other clubs that are interested in him in the Premier League as well, notably Tottenham. But where does he end up? Going to be interesting to see what happens with Philippe Coutinho. There's also been rumours about Ivan Rakitic of Barcelona. Rakitic, again, another really talented midfield player. There were rumours coming out of Le 10 Sport, which is like a French publication, saying that Mikel Arteta even called Rakitic to find out if he'd be interested in coming to Arsenal. The rumours is that he doesn't really want to come to the Premier League. He'd rather stay over there in Spain. But what happens with him? That is going to be really, really interesting to see. I don't think it'd be Rakitic, but I definitely think there is something in the Coutinho rumours, and Coutinho could possibly come. And of course, the big one that's been rumbling on for a long time is Thomas Partey. Now, Partey, of course, at Atletico Madrid, we all know, I think every Arsenal fan knows about this £45 million release clause in his contract. Arsenal have apparently made offers, but way under that £45 million, which have been turned down. Atletico Madrid would like him to sign a new deal. He's way off the top earners at Atletico Madrid. What happens with him? That's going to be really interesting to see. Remember, Atletico Madrid, they're still playing games. I mean, they're still in the Champions League. I think they got RB Leipzig in the next round. So I don't think anything's going to get resolved before, the end of their Champions League campaign. And, you never know, they could go all the way. You'd expect them to get past Leipzig. But this is one that is going to be very interesting to see. Arsenal definitely interested in Thomas Partey. Is Thomas Partey going to end up being an Arsenal player? Certainly, it'd be a very, very positive signing. Certainly, it's just the type of player that Arsenal could do with signing. But will he end up at Arsenal? I think that's going to be one of those rumbling. We always get one, right? It kind of rumbles on all summer. I can see this being one of them. But going to be really interesting to see what happens. And Arsenal linked as well to a centre-back today. And again, another one of the positions that we need to fill. Centre-back, his name is Diego Carlos. Been linked with him before. Again, another player that Arteta is said to be an admirer of. He's 27, plays for Sevilla. Sevilla have had a great season, and he's been an important part of that. He's played 35 league games this season. And, as I said, Sevilla, they finished fourth in La Liga this season, which was great for them, back in the Champions League. And quite a few clubs interested in him. Liverpool interested in him amongst some of the other big clubs. But Arsenal said to be interested in him. They're definitely looking in strengthening that centre-back position. And Diego Carlos is a player that is really interesting Mikel Arteta. So, it's begun. The transfer window has begun. And of course, we are going to be here every single day giving you all the rumours on Transfer Daily. We're also going to be doing some Transfer Daily lives where we get your opinion. So look out for those. We'll be doing 3-4 of those every week. We'll be doing a live show and we're getting your opinions on who do you think we should be bringing in. We're also going to be doing some focuses on certain players that we're looking at as well, just to sort of have a deep dive into those players to see if they'd suit Arsenal and to see if, there's any substance in some of the rumours around them. So if you want to know anything about transfers, right here, this is the original Transfer Daily, much copied, much, repeated. And I don't mind it. You know what I mean? I don't mind it. It's always good to be the leader. But this is the original Transfer Daily, 6 years strong. And we're going to be giving you all the rumours around the Arsenal players. So keep it locked here. But I'm still feeling good today. It's good to be out here in the open. It's good to have finished the season off how Arsenal have finished it. And I really do think it's now about keeping that momentum going, keeping that feel-good factor going. And that starts with getting Aubameyang signed. Get him signed up. And I really do think if we can do that, we can have a very good transfer window. Thanks for watching today. Keep those comments coming in. Who do you think that Arsenal should sign? Let us know. Hit that like button. AFTV Transfer Daily. And listen, let's get some good transfers in and really have a go at that Premier League next season.
Robbie here from AFTV. We just got to say a big thank you to everybody who follows us across our various channels. Over 1 million followers on YouTube. Don't forget, you can now also catch us on Reddit. We're on Reddit, so get involved with us on Reddit and also on TikTok. Keep it AFTV, baby, right here.